The Meteorological Agency continues issuing warnings on flood and other elements of nature. Residents and environmental experts in Bayelsa State have raised alarm over the alleged nonchalant attitude of the government in taking the warning of NIMET serious. They stated this while speaking to our reporter in the state capital, Yenagoa.
With many across the country yet to recover from the devastation of the 2022 flood, residents of Bayelsa are worried that if necessary steps are not taken, many could see 2022 repeating in 2023. A resident and environmental expert, Priya Aganaba, said it's time for the state government to do the needful to avoid loss of lives and properties.
The quantity of rainfall also leads to saturation of the earth, and then at a point, there is nowhere for the water to go other than to flow. And then it flows from the north, and then it builds momentum, turns into a large pool, and then starts wreaking havoc. That's what happens.
Another resident who was affected by the recent flash flood in Yenagoa, George Aligbe, said up till now he has not seen the state government taking steps by clearing the natural canals and drainages, even though this year's rainy season has not recorded much flood and disaster like that of last year.
It's certain that floods are coming, and one has to prepare about it. We are beginning to see the sign of the flood coming up, but we have not really seen the proactive nature of the committee. And the government is sleeping. Whether you like it or not, the government is sleeping, and here is flood again. Whether we like it or not, we are seeing it.
Similarly, a renowned environmental rights activist, Alagwa Morris, said it is not enough for NIMET to just forecast without putting in effort to avert the disaster.
There is no other effort that these federal government agencies and the government itself, whether it is Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, have done before we begin to blame the states. And why we have to blame the states, and even to some extent the local governments, and even individuals, is that this is happening to you. You don't need to wait for another person to come and tell you to be safe.
They all want the state government to work with stakeholders to ensure that the right steps are taken to avert flood-related disaster.